Hello, guys. Sorry, I was looking through something really quick. I was like, I know it's October, but why is it so humid out? It legit does feel a bit too hot. Just, cause it really doesn't help with, I have to turn my fan off, or else you'll pick it up on the microphone. Boy, what? It's October, why does it feel this warm? It's just too bright out, too. Gonna close my curtain. Want the AC back on. I mean, if you want to put it back on, honey. Don't mind the fact I called you Rule twice. I was just like, ah, yes, typo. Just, I can make typos so much that I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna live with it. Anyways, first time I get to use this screen. I am very excited. I am so proud of all the little moths and the little butterflies that I made for this screen. It's just so cute. I love it. I love little moths and butterflies. Especially given, like, Talos and Rune have two different kinds of special moths and butterflies they raise. But anyways, we're going to turn this down a little bit more. Anyways, funniest thing I asked a friend for help with today, Celestial Wind, he helped me set up a Steam account. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I feel it. Like, I have a vent right above my head. Yeah, I asked him for help doing a Steam account, and I know as funny as it may sound, I really don't have self-confidence. I look at myself, I'm like, I'm stupid. How do I know I'm not gonna mess it up? And it really was that simple, actually. It really was. But now I have a Steam account, and I'm just trying for the life of me to figure out what games to possibly play. Cause, like, there's different ones, and I just don't know which ones would be the nicest to play. Of course, looking at different stuff, there is some games I wanted to play, and then I found some games I was like, oh, normally I'd have to buy a whole nother freaking console for this game. And I'm like, oh, I have a computer. I could just play it on Steam. Because Hunting Grounds was one of them. Yeah, World of Final Fantasy would be a really good idea. Yeah, that's one of the games that I'm really wanting to try playing on Steam, because it's so cute. And from what I've seen, it's rather casual. But I know I'd have to get used to controls if I wanted to play a game like Hunting Grounds, just casually, in my own time. I know I would. But that's beside the point. Cause yeah, I'm looking at the stuff right now. What I find funny is, there's a lot of, yeah, we got some new soaps. I hear new soap and I'm just wondering, what scent did you get? Because I just like hearing like, oh, what's on the market? Because I don't get fancy with it. I've played it like 5 times. It's really casual friendly, and you can make teams of your favorite monsters. Have like a bunch of behemoths and 1 carbuncle. That'd be me. I'm just saying. Cause I know I'm that basic, if not just that stupid. Yeah, a lot of Halloween soaps. Is there a pumpkin spice soap? Because I would keep that in my kitchen. We have like a bar of it's sandalwood soap that I got like a year ago as a gift. Yes, I would definitely want to keep that in my kitchen. Just because then it's just pick it up and just smell. Because we just do that with the sandalwood soap we have. It's just this bar of soap. It just sits there and everything. Oh boy. But I'm just looking at different things. Ilphonic made a Ghostbusters game? Did they really? I didn't know that. You can make stacks of small, then medium, then large. The two main things you have to worry about is resistance and weaknesses and stability. I think if I can kinda remember it for D&D, I think I can do fine on that one. I think, that's not a promise. Again, I am a very much self-proclaimed idiot. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they made a game for that. I remember seeing that, though. But, of all the things I am hoping for the most is the War of the Worlds game that's coming out eventually. Because to me that looks like something very, very fun to watch. Because it's like, survival, running, oh boy, a Gatorade. Why is that thing staring at me through the window? I found it. It'll tell you through tutorials and it's really easy to remember. It's called Pumpkin Carving. I like that. I really, like, I don't know why. But it's like with Halloween and autumn decor and scents, it hits different. Like, it just makes sense. Are you going to stream ZA? I would like to, but that requires two things. One, a capture card, which I don't have. I want to get an Elgato, but that's a lot of money. I don't know if I can just drop without, like, checking my funds a million times, because I have quite a few bills to pay every month. I do. I get paid twice a month, but it's like my bills fall less towards the end of the month because they're already paid. And I don't have a bunch of utility bills, thank goodness, but it's just the fact of, despite it not being many, it's still the fact that it charges a lot. You know, it's altogether, it's quite a bit. So if I go to get a capture card, I'd have to be very tactful about it. And actually, I realized, let me fact check. Is ZA coming out for only the Switch too? Is it only for the Switch? Yes, Pokemon Legends ZA will be available for the original Nintendo Switch. Thank you. Thank you, Internet. That's good to know. I'm very happy to know that, because that means I could actually get it. Because, yeah, Switch and Switch 2. Yeah, she gets paid Thursday on my 27th birthday, but since it's her first check in a month with bills on top of it. Yeah, that's why I went and bought, popcorn, even though I'm the only one who will be eating it, and I went ahead and bought Riven a cake. It was a handmade cake from work. And because we were having cheesecake, and I was like, this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted cheesecake. So I got that, and I got like some nuggets, and they were very tasty nuggets. So it's like, you know, on his birthday, the plan is, if I have the room, we'll get pizza on top of it. But we're gonna just sit and watch movies that he wants to watch. Like, on Hulu there's Labyrinth, but because I have the bundle, I also have the Disney Plus. So if I need to get the app on my Xbox if I didn't get rid of it before, because my mom used to have it, but then she got rid of her subscription because she says, "Oh, we don't really watch it that much." I'm like, "Mom, I was watching some old movies on there, but sure, if that's what you want to do." I don't think I ever deleted it off my thing. I don't think I have. I'd have to look. I know I have Hulu on my PC as well. I'll just be drawing and just like look, and it's like, behold, this sci-fi alien movies I've watched 500 times through my life because I love them so much. Riven could vouch for that. And now Celestial can too, because he was over to watch my newest favorite. And what might be my next newest favorite one comes out the 7th of next month. And I took off for that day, so I'm going straight to the theater as soon as I can. Oh, I am so hyped for Badlands. And I just saw the new trailer for it. And I saw Deck like crash through the woods and just like land on his face. I was like, oh honey, you landed on your little face. This is an alien hunter, the most deadly being in all the universe. And I'm just like, oh honey, you landed on your little face. He's watching Killer of Killers, a new obsession. I love Killer of Killers because of how different it is. Because I love all the other movies, but Killer of Killers is so different. Because it's not focused in one time period. It goes from the farthest past and then keeps going to present day. And even then, we don't really know when present day is. Why? We're on an alien planet. Who knows what time this is? We just know you have an ancient Viking, a ninja, and a guy who was a pilot in World War I, all thrown into an arena to fight for a bunch of aliens' amusements. And then they make like the greatest prison break of all time. Yeah, I haven't watched many alien movies. It's hit or miss for some people, and I get like if not everybody likes that part of the sci-fi genre, because my mom does not like that I like Predator, Alien. I don't have the movie, but I was watching someone talk about it because it was like a why you wouldn't survive kind of video. And I think y'all might know this one. It was Splinter, the movie Splinter. And she walked in and like the one moment one of the monsters was running loose, she looked at me and she was like, "You know I don't like you watching that." I'm like, "Well, I'm the one watching it. You don't have to stand there and look at it." But I know, she's more into them than I am, but I don't mind it. Just enjoy spending time with her. Yeah, plus Riven was laughing so hard during Prey at one point. Because Prey was really, really cool, but then he found out when the Yautja is fighting the humans, he throws one of them, and you just get this mix between an actual yell and the Wilhelm scream. And he was like, "Wait, rewind!" And rewinded it, and then it's like, it was the Wilhelm scream. It's like, yeah! That's so cute, yeah. This is also the man who put up with me playing Bionicle and Hero Factory end over end over end until I finally got internet and I was able to watch other stuff, because we watch a lot of cooking stuff together, especially if you've ever heard of the channel Chocolate Cacao. Really, really cute channel to watch, especially because I love chocolatiering. I love watching people make food. And I work in a cafe, so even more on par with my interests. And yeah, Cacao, yeah! And we watch them like all the time, along with a few other channels. And I just like watching people make them. Cookie Run Neurons Active! Oh no, he makes plenty of chocolate cookies. He made, like, I think the blue powder was blue pea flour powder, and he made blue donuts, and it made me sit and think, oh, if you made cookies with that. I know there's most likely cookies with, made with blue pea flour. And, if you have seen blue pea flowers, they are very cute. I love them. They're so cute. And I hear their tea is not only very healthy for you, but it's magical. And I've seen. Add a little bit of lemon, and it turns purple. And I'm like, I love that. That is so cool. But, of course, I like anything with food science. Like, any trickery, manipulation of food, I love it. Which reminds me, another, show we like to watch, is Chopped. Chopped, they have, the dessert Chopped, which is Chopped Sweets. And to me, it's just so fun, because it's like, oh, normal ingredients to what is that? It's like, oh, have to make a cake with, like, cranberries, pumpkin, a type of flour, and why is there a piece of meat in here? And you have, like, an hour to do it. I've seen the Bionicle movie so many times. Oh, I think you missed the quote I made. Look, it's Kitangu, not... Like, Mattel's your favorite character. I know he is, because he's so sarcastic. He's such a smart ass. Look, it's Kitangu! Not. Web of Shadows was definitely Riven's more preferred movie out of the Bionicle movies I have, for fact. Funniest difference is, I have also The Legend Reborn. I told him, you know, hey, let's watch it. It's a break from the other ones you've seen. He said, sure, let's, it's a different one. And then, I play through half of the movie, and I look at him like, so what do you think so far? He's like, it's kind of boring. It's like, yeah, I can see it is, but I love it. But I think we stopped watching that one because he wasn't really paying attention to it, and I don't want him to not watch something for the first time and he just not feel like, this isn't my thing. They made a literal steak cookie. Let me see. Oh, he reminds me of a character I've seen. I'm trying to remember. Oh, shit, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. I think it was from, I don't know if you've seen the, I don't know if you've seen the game. It's called Food Fantasy. I used to play it in high school, if that tells you how old this was. I haven't played it in forever. I thought of picking it back up, and then I saw, okay, maybe not. And there was a steak character, literally called Steak, but there was someone with that same kind of energy, and like just wielding a giant sword, which of course for Cookie Run it's a knife, but this was like a giant sword, and I was like, which one? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been forever. But I saw someone with that same energy, and I'm like, he reminds me of somebody who was like so cool as a character in that game. But I don't remember. But I like that they made a meat-based cookie, because I know you can make sweets based out of meat actually very easy. Especially because like you have bacon grease cookies. It actually helps make the cookie. I'm a smart ass, of course I'd magnetize to them. And microtransactions are the bane of mobile gaming. Yes, they are. Because, good example of that, actually. I have the Squishmallows Matchy game. I haven't played it in a little while. But I have played it, plenty of times. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I was gonna say, I play because it's a cutesy matching game. I love Squishmallows, and I'm like, you know what? Not many other matching games I'm a real big fan of. Well, no, there's one. But it's a dual matching game, and it makes my TISM and ADHD happy, because it makes clicky-clacky sounds, it's sparkly, and I like crystals. So, Yeah, no thoughts, head empty. It's fine. No, trust me, that was me not long ago at one point. Even if it was for 5 seconds, that was me. But, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Exactly. I mean, Shroobies often no thoughts, head empty, so... But... It's just that fact. Like, it's like, oh, I'm struggling with a level, and then it's like, oh, by the way, you want more lives? I'm like, no. I just want to play a game. And then I end up not playing it for a little while, and then it's like, well, okay. It's a matching game, but I know why they do it. It's just that it sucks that they do it. Yeah. Oh wait, what is it? Yeah, I found the depiction of how Zip won Hollycog over. How's that? It's alright, Z. I do a lot of the thinking. 10 out of 10. Hey! Hey, there are times I have to help you. I deserve at least half of a brain cell. Thank you very much. Oh, god damn it. What is this? I've seen that meme. I've seen that meme. The little breakdancing cat. I've seen that. I've seen the breakdancing cat. Okay, 8.5. Thank you. Thank you. I at least do a little thinking. Like, given I have to show you some stuff, I at least deserve that half a brain cell. Oh boy. And yet fate did not decide I needed to have orange hair. Because then I would have definitely lived up to an old nickname. And it's with things you come up with for the fandoms you really like. Yeah, I come up with some funny shit. It's like, there was a moment with Riven, I looked at him like, hey, you know what'd be funny? And he was like, what? I was like, if this guy slapped the utter shit out of that guy, just for no reason, like a cat. And he just looked at me. He's like, where do you come up with these things? I was like, I gotta entertain myself at work somehow. May as well be with funny ideas. I mean, I've definitely had that thought with Bowyer. Like, the cat, or it's like, number of days since I smacked somebody with for no reason. 0. Oh boy. I just like the idea of teeny tiny baby and giant robot together. That ends up being me and Telos a lot. Just like, I mean, look at them behind me. Look at them. You can't see my cursor, but look at them. Just they're happy. You come up with ideas I have no idea about and expect me to come to keep up with it, and usually it's coming from left field. I know, but ain't that what's so fun about it? Expect the unexpected. It provides a depth and overcome. Oh boy. I mean, there is some ideas I know I do have that, like, yeah, at first it's hard to keep up with, but then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, then it's easier to keep up with. I try, but you're a different brand. I am a very special goober. I am the shiny Pokemon of goober. Oh boy. But, either way, it's still at least that case in point fact regardless. His zip fits in the hand of Hollycog as seen in one of the doodles. Yeah, and that's just so cute. It's like, just, do you see this? This is mine. and I love them very much. Because Rune does the same thing, just holding Telos like an actual doll, like, this is my boyfriend, and I love him very much. And you'll put some respect on that. And I say that because, Smithy just gives her the side eye, like, of course, you pick what was the same being as what I once got my ass whipped by. You're referring to Juno. You think on a different wavelength than I do, but I try to keep it up. There's a Holly call, like, just hand this my partner. It just, I don't know what all comments Smithy would have. It's like, alright. Yeah, oh, yeah, it's so cute. And it's just like, aren't you afraid of squishing him? But I know Hollycog is like Rune. They don't seem like it, but they are very much aware how small their partner is. And they're not afraid to show how gentle they can be. And let alone, they have like it's almost like a subconscious awareness of like, this is my partner, they are small, and, you know, I must protect them. Because I've had the funniest of ideas of Rune holding Telos in her arms, and then she goes to do something and she just shifts him over to one arm and goes to do whatever she's doing with one hand, because she knows. See, she knows if she puts his ass down, he will start squeaking like a motherfucker. Because, like, that is essentially him. He likes to be held. He loves it when she holds him. Just hold. And I know, like, I know I need to show, like, when he squeaks, but, have you ever heard the squeak of a, Death's Head hawk moth? If you haven't, I recommend you do, because it's so cute. And they sound like they have such attitude. It's super cute, I promise, but it's just so funny. Just like, just such angy squeaking, and it's just like, oh, alright. Zip commits feral cat anyone who threatens Hollycock. I mean, you gotta have the protective one. And Rune and Telos are their own form of protective, but it's like holding. And then it's just like, someone says something, and then it's just that all of a sudden, jolt up and hiss. Just like, oh, you wanna go? Roll asked me why I never stay long. I told her that the sound of her voice is soothing to me, and I start to fall asleep, especially when I couldn't sleep well the night before. Yes. And I will say, most people we've known, they'll usually act like that's a bad thing. To me, it's actually not. Why? Because I hate getting up early in the morning, and so it's just like going saying, you know, hey, how was your night? How'd you sleep? And he says, awful. Just not very good. Let alone if he had a nightmare. Because I get upset about it. And then it's the fact of like, I know I sound peppy, but I'm like, just, can he not get a break? Seriously. And then that comes in that simple fact of like, then he starts falling asleep, and I'm just like, let this man have a nap. But, because like, I hate it when I try to go to sleep, I could go to sleep on time. Okay? Like, one of my shifts begin at 7. I have to be up at 6. Because I prefer making sure I'm absolutely ready. And especially because I live like maybe 30, 15 minutes out of town. and what it is that it's just like I'll go to sleep and I will not be able to fall asleep at all. My bad. What do you mean you're bad? But does it say like did you do something? Because I didn't see anything. But yeah, I would actually just be laying there in bed, and I'm like, why can't I fall asleep? This isn't fair. And then comes in the fact of, I get up and I feel not only exhausted, but it's like, I feel like I'm also just wired. I'm like, I just laid there for like 6 hours. Why am I wired? And why am I so tired? And then because I mostly do sleep okay. I would say at least okay on average. But I get up and I see he hasn't. Like, he hasn't had a very good night's sleep, or he just had a random nightmare because his are irrational. And I'm like, this ain't fair. This really ain't fair. Yeah, the reason I don't nap is because you might need me, that, and I used to have to take care of my mom, so no naps for me. Yeah, I remember that. And then, it's not your fault, Z. I just have trouble sleeping, or I can't get comfortable. And then, it's just like a some point fact of, like, this again to me is like, it's not fair, because I know melatonin doesn't always work for you. It is like, huh. Like, do we need to start drinking tea or something before we go to bed? I mean, it probably would actually be a better idea. I have water, but I do drink quite a bit of soda. I'm trying to cut back. Not that I'm a dark gray PNG tuber. I mean, that depends, though. It's like, whose streams are you invading? But I mean, even then, yeah, in Dark I have a tendency to cause nightmares. I doubt it's you. Just as a Dark I doubt it's you. One thing that I can say that does cause Riven nightmares, I like watching horror stuff. This has already been made known, but I will also watch it into the dead of night. And then there just comes by that simple fact of like, yeah. I just quick realized you got nightmares come and go. I have a small fear of the dark because my father played RE2 in the dark when I was really young. Yeah, a real jerk move. And now I can't watch certain things at night because I love watching people pick apart zombie media because it's so inconsistent. Like just the other day I was watching it was somebody's top 10. I don't remember the guy. But I've watched their videos before. I think it's Wow Such Gaming. And I mean the original RE2. Yeah, well, back then they wished the remake happened. People back then wished that it would one day look like that. But it was a video about the top 10 or just the top zombie apocalypses that could have been avoided, or just that shouldn't have happened. And it just like he turned like, cause he was doing something in the kitchen and he looked at me like, well, I'm having nightmares tonight. I was like, I'm sorry. But it's just cause I like watching media like that where it's like, oh, here's these different ways someone has portrayed a story, and I'm like, okay. But also how it's just inconsistent because it kind of reminds me of things like War of the Worlds. It doesn't have to be portrayed the same because some methods work, some just don't. It's something that whoever comes to produce like the next zombie whatever next can look at and go, okay, so that take wasn't very popular. What about this one? And you have tried and true methods, and then you have ones that aren't. And then you find the unconventional. And the unconventional is fun. The funny thing is I don't have to watch horror to get a nightmare, it just increases the chances. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think did you watch the demo for Digested with me? I don't remember if you did. That just makes me wonder, like, did you watch it with me? Because I don't know if that gave you any bad nightmares, potentially. But either way, yeah, no, I don't think so. But, I mean, I wouldn't think it did, because it was just a giant snake. And you like snakes. You like little boot noodles. Which, that reminds me. A very cool OC idea. It was with a Yautja, because ever since I dug up Tinto, I've been, like, going back through, like, ideas. I'm like, you know, I've been meaning to make more asides from just Tinto long ago. may as well try to refine the palette now, possibly. Especially if I'm going to try to practice drawing them. And, of course, you have to are reptiles. They're reptile, like, people. And I found out one of the coolest ways to think of how they look is to literally look at real-life lizards. Because you have the little thorn lizard, which are super cute, and then you have the little, like the armadillo lizard, which is just, it's so cute. If you've not seen it, I love them. I love it so much. But I saw a snake. It was a type of boa. I think it was called the devil boa. And it's just a pitch black snake, but its scales are iridescent. And I was like, that is an enchanted boot noodle. What do you mean that's real? That is a wizard's familiar. It's so beautiful. And then my brain went, you know, what if, per se, you know, someone happened to base a certain creature OC after it. And then I got the idea for Reaper. Because, yeah, that's his name, Reaper. But just, yeah, it was so pretty. And then it's just, I love the little videos of people with little snakes. Just little boop noodles. They're all just so cute. But I don't think I'd ever be able to potentially own a lizard. And it's because, like, just the cost of just needing to like, get special bedding and everything just doesn't fit in my alley right now. Maybe someday. Because I'd love to get a bearded dragon. Just a little beardy. But maybe someday, I don't know. I originally wanted a bird, but then I was reminded about my asthma. So, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun conversation to have. Like, oh, right, dander. Cause like we can watch Luna, like my little floof sister. But, I mean, it's just like, otherwise it's owning a pet. But either way, the more I look through different stuff, especially on Steam, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Like, what is it? I was gonna say, the more I look through stuff on Steam, it really makes me stop and think of just like, what all games are potentially coming out that, like, everybody's more hyped for, because I see a lot of trailers, but never really get to see it. Like, there's a plane. I made a Detective Startle. Did you? Because I hear Detective Startle and my brain goes to, the, like, Princess Peach Showtime. Neat, yeah. But I do wonder what all there is. Because that's one thing I wanted to talk about, was potential, bestsellers or something that would be good for streaming. Because, yeah, there's a lot of different things. Hey, saying new games are coming out reminds me of something. What did I unearth in your brain? What have I brought forth? Dang, they have a lot for Silent Hill F. Oh yeah, there was one game that I've considered. Potion Craft. Because Potion Craft, it's like, it seems like a really cute game to play. Cause I think I remember playing it on Xbox and it was still very new. I think I do. Cause I love the medieval style of it too and everything. Yeah, I wanted to make a game similar to the Mario and Luigi RPG series, but with the stuff Nintendo's trying to pull, because Plow World is kind of too popular for comfort. I'm not too sure anymore. Well, you would just have to make your own idea per se. It's not too bad, especially to sneak in a reference, but it's not too bad to like actually put in an actual reference to it. Plus there's inspiration to it. There's another Crusade. I mean, I guess you could say it's another Crusade. It's just, again, it's just that case in point of like, with video game design and stuff, to me it's like, it'd be just super fun to like, just at least play with ideas. Cause, unfortunately, not everything is like, I know I keep circling back to War of the Worlds, but War of the Worlds is actually one of the best examples of this. It's, oh no, that's the game, that's what it's called. Oh, I'd have to look it up. But as I was going to say real quick, like, sorry I keep circling back to War of the Worlds, I really love it. But, a very good example of this in argument, actually, in terms of the stuff that, like, with that whole thing. War of the Worlds is in public domain, so people can make any retelling of it they want. It's just that you can't really, I guess you could say, rip designs off from one another. Like, you can make very similar designs, because it's a tripod. You're bound to run into one too many similarities, but at the core of it, what makes people happy is if this is recognizable as War of the Worlds. Because I'm not a fan of the format of telling the story that Amazon Prime did. And it's like, really? Found footage? War of the Worlds is the best experience up close and personal. But I can understand, yeah, some people finding horror of like, you know, seeing it through TV screens on YouTube. You know, wondering what the heck is going on. And then get thrown right in the middle of it. Nintendo's patenting everything that involves summoning monsters, riding them, capturing them. Power World became too popular and Nintendo felt threatened. Who knows what they're gonna try next. I would say, you wanna know something worse? Look up what, if you've seen it, the guys behind, trying to remember, yeah, Dark Deception, especially with their, side game, Monsters and Mayhem, yeah, look up with that game and see what malarkey they had to put up with, because it was so stupid. I may have 1.5 brain cells, but I think my one brain cell is damaged. Monster Energy, I know, yeah. But that's beside the point. Just not everyone's making the smartest decisions right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't get creative. And if anything, that should be your sign to really get creative. Because in terms of making a game, like, there's plenty of ways you technically could make that, because platforming, it's a platformer. I mean, there's plenty of people who have platformer games. You can't copyright platforming as a genre. Like saying, it was me, I did it. You can't do that. Because look how many people have made a platformer. Look how many games involve platforming. Just, it'd be a mess. It wouldn't be worth it. But it's when concepts get way too similar that some people would actually try. But again, that's where creativity comes in. Because say, yeah, it's like a roguelite. but at the same time, you having this very special concept that just sets it apart from all the others, or makes it stand out more. How AAA companies are threatened by indie devs. Well, that I think's more of a case in point of passion for our project. Because, just like, an indie dev would have so much more love and passion for a game than some others do. But, I mean, just look at The Sims 4. I like The Sims 4, I do, but it's like, do I really want to have to drop money for an expansion pack almost every 3 months? I don't. I need to get them all back for PC. That's why I don't want to stream The Sims yet. Like, I have it geared up and ready to stream. I found out how. But then there comes in the fact of, oh, but I don't have all my stuff back, and if I try to play with any Sims I had initially on my Xbox, because you could save to the gallery, because the gallery between PC and console is interconnected. So that's why you got to be careful if you're playing on console. You don't know what was made with a mod or not. So that's why people have to put down like no CC or custom content, which is what it stands for. And essentially what it is that like I want to have all my stuff back before I potentially try to play the game like that again. Like building houses, making certain Sims, because I love to make people's OCs in The Sims 4 and just see who gets along and who doesn't. Because they have some traits now that are like really fun to play with. Like Skeptic. You can be in a cult, which is like a mage, an alien, now we have fairies. You could be any of those. A vampire. You could be one and be in Skeptic, because Skeptics doubt the existence of occults. But you now doubt the existence of yourself. And they predicted that nonsense. They knew we would do it. Because next thing you know, you have a Sim who's doubting their own supernatural properties. And I'm like, this is amazing. It's funny, but at the same time, it's just, you can still try to prove a skeptic wrong. And they're like, well, I still think that's dumb. So, yep, there's other games that do the same thing Pokemon does, Digimon, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, but Nintendo's directly going after Pocket Pair. Conflicting ideals. Conflicting ideals. Yeah, because that's funny. That's part of why it's so funny. But, I'd say it's because with stuff like that, it's like, it really depends on how similar you get. Again, not too sure. But we also have to remember, different things with, copyrights do vary from place to place. So, that's something we have to keep an open mind about. Otherwise, it's not great, it's not fun. But, you also gotta remember, is it a core mechanic or is it just to the side? Because if it's just to the side, then I don't think really it's much of a, you know, eye catcher. Like, yeah, I know where this music comes from. Wait, which one is it? I don't think I've seen. Oh yeah, theme of Tanel? Yeah. Okage Shadow King. I don't think yeah, Okage Shadow King. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that game before. It sounds like a quirky game, and that's fun. But either way, so, anyways, got major sidetracked. I was gonna look up a certain game, which one was it? Oh, there's another Crusade. Hang on. Yeah, I've never heard of this game before. Oh, no wait, I think I have. I think I've seen it, and they said it was a lot like Mario RPG. Like, it had the vibes of it and everything. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. I'm just seeing the little video for it. Oh, it's so cute. It is. It's obscure from the PS2. How much is it? It'd only be $20, so... Again, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. It supports Xbox controllers. But if I get, if I play a game like this, I think I'm gonna want a controller specifically for my computer. But it does have a demo. So. But I love that. It's so cute. And it's little puppets and everything. Ooh, boy, it's like this would be a really cute game. I could see myself like putting hours into this if I get the motivation. Not bad at all. There's also Bug Fables. It's like Paper Mario. Bug Fable. I remember hearing Nutty talk about that one. Cause he said like the way I draw my moths looks a lot like Bug Fables. Oh, that is so cute. Aww. I'm just putting stuff on my wish list because I'm like, I want to keep it in mind for if I ever like go to play it, then it's right there. Oh, it's just, and it's little bugs. My guess is though, it's like, do you get to pick what character you play as, or is it a distinct set of characters? Because I do wonder. Cause yeah, like I would. There is a you technically play as all three as your party members. Okay. I'm saying there is a controller I've thought of getting for my computer, but it's gonna take a bit to get it. They all have overworld puzzle solving abilities. I mean, wasn't that one of the perks about it? It's like just a bunch of puzzles. I did think of getting Jackbox, possibly, because I have it for, my Switch, but I thought of getting it on Steam, possibly. Yeah, because there is the party starter, but I think I have 7. I think I have box party 7, and then yeah, I have 4. I could survive the internet. I think that was my favorite game. I think it was. Oh boy. I don't know how it's like how interested like y'all would be with playing Jackbox exactly. Because I know Riven isn't that, taken with it. You know my stance. Yeah. But it's the fact of, like, I like the fact that it's a party game and it's supposed to be super, unpredictable. Again, just something in mind. Something I'm trying to think in terms of what might be preferred or liked. Either way. But I'll keep those games in mind. I'll keep them in mind because, I know eventually I'll try looking through them. I say eventually as in, like, maybe 2-3 days from now. I'll look to see what all I might want to try getting and see where we can go from there. But aside from that, I did wonder, would y'all be interested in Slime Rancher? Because I don't think everyone would be interested in... Yeah, I don't think everyone would be interested in some of them. Maybe Fields of Mistra, I'm not sure. Well, I did say I didn't want much for my birthday, so you might want to have some wiggle room, and yes, I am! I can hear it now. You just giggling in the living room while I'm just yelling, get in the pen. Or just trying to platform, like, get in the pen. Get in the pen. Oh boy. Trying to adjust my legs. Either way. Stretchies. Also, I realized my chair, I like the lock for it for lean back. I realized it came loose, and now I'm able to lean back more, and I'm just like, okay, let's not lean back too fast. Z is still there. I think they're lurking maybe a little bit. Like, lurking and drawing. Oh! Looking through my list, I forgot. It's essentially a farming game, but it's called Blacksmith Master. I thought that would be fun to play. Because it's on sale. It's on early access, too, actually. I think it'd be cute to do a little blacksmithery game. Cause I know I'm probably gonna like I'm probably gonna really like the whole idea of like a farming game, possibly. Cause in The Sims you do farming, it's something casual. Just something of that sort. Either way, every time my desk creaks, it picks it up on the mic. Either way. Oh, I need to get more water. Shit. Oh, I was like on break right now. Hi, Miss D. We're just chatting and chilling, just talking about stuff. Trying to think through some Steam games to play because I finally took the opportunity to ask my friend for guidance because I know I'm stupid. I know I'm a little idiot, but I want to make sure I don't mess anything up when I go to do it. But I went and set up a Steam account, and I've just been trying to get an idea in games to possibly stream. Because I found some ones that I would like to play, but then there's some I know is like, not very not very well great. And when you go to play Final Fantasy IX, I'll tell you that it's kinda hard. The enemies don't wait and some monsters are friendly. I think 9's more your alley, Riven. I think it is. Oh, you got Steam? Nice. Yeah, I do now. I've mostly been trying to get together, like, game ideas. Hello.
Hi. You said you needed water, so where I am.
Alright. I say I need water, he just comes and gives me water.
Hello. It's me.
Hey, see, I'm still here. Hi, Riven.
Hello.
I'm not a shroob, I'm a plant. I said I need water. It's like, here you go. Here's water. I like this backdrop here. Very lovely. Also, hi, Riven. Thank you. I was really excited to use this backdrop, and like with Telos and Rune snuggling in the back, it made me come to realize I really could fulfill an idea I had for a type of screens, a set of screens for when Art Fight comes back around. Because I had a really cool idea. Thank you.
Also, fungi still need water, you goober.
I thought they just needed something else to grow on.
They need a place to grow on that's cold and damp.
I don't see people watering their mushrooms, though.
Because there's usually enough moisture in the air, or like the bag they come in or whatever, that keeps them hydrated enough.
I haven't had to take ecology in a long time.
I can tell.
That's my chair. It's like protesting. I only have 1.5 brain cells.
And this is why I told everyone I do most of the thinking.
I deserve half a brain cell.
That's why I said you get 1.5.
I just want 1.5.
The other half is stuck with Celestial.
Yeah, he took it and ran away like a goblin. I am the gremlin, he is the goblin, you're the one who has to put up with both of us.
Yeah, I gotta rein you both in, you goobers.
Gonna be drawing Sylvia T-posing, maybe she'll be easier to model in Blender. Oh, you're modeling her in Blender? Oh, that's gonna be epic. Like, Celestial, he was talking to me earlier about that. Like, he said, because I said, oh, there's VR chat on Steam, but I don't have, like, a headset, so I don't think I could play. He goes, oh, no, you can. It's just tank controls. I'm like, I could deal with tank controls. Actually, let me look that up. Like, do they just use straight up tank controls, or... Because he said, yeah, I've been trying and failing. 3D modeling is hard. I'd love to find out how to do it. Like, I know I have a PC now. I could try doing stuff on Blender, but I don't think I can do it with a mouse. And I don't know how I'd be able to do it with a stylus. I don't know. But either way, I thought about how it'd be cool to maybe try it, possibly, but I'm not sure. Because it looks like it'd be pretty fun. But either way. It's still that case in point fact. Steam has quite a few game-making programs like RPG Maker and a dating sim maker. I don't think I have it in me to make a dating sim. What would be the RPG Maker exactly that people would use? Because it would be cool to make a game. It would. But I don't know which one do people use exactly. It's literally called RPG Maker. Is it really? I wouldn't know, Riven. Me and my 1.5 brain cells. I have Final Fantasy Rebirth on here. That's cool. I always chose that. Because I might give it a try. I've never played even the newer one. I've never played it. But it is heavily on sale. There's where Mad Father and Ib were created. I mean, that would be the one I would be, like, hoping to, like, to use, possibly. But either way, case in point is, I'd have to look into it. Yeah, I played Ib, it was a hoot. I've never played it before. Then again, I think with my schedule, I'd have to really find the time to settle down and play it. I'm having to find proper time to play The Sims, and I haven't done it in a little while. They have an event going on, and I need to do that. I just don't want to play it on stream because, again, I have to buy all the DLC I had back because, of course, it doesn't want to translate over into, it doesn't want to translate over to PC. Yeah, it's a horror game set in a museum. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. I know there's a certain song from it that's, like, really popular. The desire to make a detective game with Tadosun, the detective starred all I would hope as a detective game, I think I would only be, like, thinking about it this way because my folks used to watch, if you've ever heard of the show Murdoch Mysteries or Perry Mason, they would play that all the time. And they would watch it during dinner. Like, all the time. They didn't even watch it most of the day. And it's still that case in point. It's just like all the mysteries and everything were all so cool. That'd be the only thing I'd be worried about with the detective game is, like, just super cool mysteries and everything. Because I know some can be gooberish, but it's like a detective game. It would be, it would be like just really in-depth, almost like Sherlock Holmes, like the original novels. It's like, I've watched it, you might like it, hun. Also, Yume Nikki was made with RPG Maker, and it's free on Steam. Yume Nikki, I know I've never heard of. May I borrow your characters for cameos if I do make said game? Of course! Easy. Like, I don't know why, but it's like, I talk a lot, and then something just decides, hey, I want to come out now. But still, just to me it would look like to be something like very worthwhile investing in. It breaks over, got a motor, hope to catch you later. See you later, Misty! But yeah, I would probably have to look into it. Cause is Ib on here? Yeah, and the witch's house is here too. Yeah, that's an oldie. Yeah, but like it looks super neat, like in terms of like that this was made with the little thing. But either way, it's not that simple fact. I'd like to see about trying to fiddle around an RPG Maker at some point. Of course, I'd need to learn how to do that a lot. Yeah, back in YouTube's heyday, RPG Maker horror games were played constantly. I've heard there was a lot of different ones. Like, a whole lot of ones, especially because, I don't know how many of them are probably on Steam. I don't know exactly. But I'd like to try. Because to me, it's like, I'd have to think of an actual concept, because, like, for me, most likely it would be something about farming. Yeah, most if not all of them are on Steam. Would I have to look up something in particular, like RPG Maker, just to find the games exactly? Because I would like to try playing some of them. Probably. Yeah, it's probably it. But either way, case in point being, it would be quite a bit to do, but I'd like to give it a shot. I would just have to think in terms of an idea, something about it. I know, like I said, it's like, it probably would be something with farming. And then, like, of course, other stuff beyond it. Ib, Madfather, Witch's House, and Crooked Man were the most popular. Those are the ones I have seen the most of, or like heard the most of, but I've never gotten to play them. There was one I've heard of with a certain one. They have an actual length of games, and one of them was Crow Scare. I've seen the walkthrough for that one, like by Manly Badass here. It was so cute. I loved the concept. It was super cute. But again, the only concept that seems to come to my head is it's farming, but later on you end up having a deeper dive into something. Like to me it'd be that cool, maybe. Especially with like different characters, and then you see how they're all intertwined somehow. Either how they would become intertwined or how they might already be. So like exploring of their relationship and how they got to that point. Because it's kind of like how you have Telos and Amma and their relationship with Rillis. Because Rillis is their brother, their big brother. But something happened, a falling out between him and Amma, and Telos is the byproduct. And I'm not gonna bore the whole story, but that's essentially the summed up part. And Telos, Amma, she essentially faded away. Not like completely, but she went dormant, essentially. She essentially went dormant, and Talos just took it over, went over life as normal. But years later, eventually, problems come full circle, and he ends up having to confront a past he's connected to by default. And Emma has to essentially find a way to, you know, come to terms with everything, essentially, where she's so afraid and whatnot. You know, because she is afraid of Rose because he snapped at her, essentially. They got in a fight. And now she's hesitant of, like, he's my brother, I love him, but she's uncertain about going forward with making amends and growing a future together that they used to have, because they used to be very close. But she's scared too. And then there's Raylos, who is essentially a bit of a stick in the mud. He has his heels dug in the ground. He's like, no, this was your fault. You know, you hit me in the face and made me have seeing problems. You know, that sort of thing. But after enough time, they start to kind of say, hey, this has to end. We gotta make up somehow. And then they eventually do. If there's combat, it'll be like kind of like Rune Factory. I know you have no idea what that is, and I know very little. You are exactly right. I don't know anything about Rune Factory. I've heard of it, but only as of name. I never have. But I would love to do that. A game where it's all the characters are intertwined somehow, and they all have to come to terms with different things, like essentially different issues they had, and then, you know, story progresses in that manner. I'd like to do something like that, but there's also that sense of a I guess some people would say of a Stardew Valley-esque theme to it, where yeah, farming and everything or tending to a home is the main mechanic that many people would think of with the game. Like, oh, it's mostly this, but then, you know, comes in the other stuff. Yeah, a good thought that just came to mind was in terms of how the farming or tending to a household kind of deal would be, to where, yeah, it's simulator-like, farming simulator, or like I've heard of the game Unpacking. And it's that essentially, it's like, in terms of like, I can say for sure, like with like issues with anxiety and whatnot, like your home is your sanctuary, or sometimes it's even just your room, and tending to it helps you feel better. And it's like you're maintaining your sanctuary, but eventually you have to stray out of it, and then things just don't feel great, things just aren't the best. And then you go back into your sanctuary, and then it's fantastic again. Everything's just fine. Your worries can melt away and everything. Because hilariously, that's not just a me thing, but I know that's a thing with Celestial, and I know that's a thing with quite a few of my OCs. They're nervous and just not the most comfy outside of the home, but then they get home and they're able to be like, okay, everything is fine. I have a blanket, I have some snacks, everything will be fine. And that would be, I guess, the main core of the game. Maintenance, fixing things up that are like old, decrepit, maybe finding the old things. Oh, I'm hella nerdy. I just put up a strong front. I know you do. I'm nervous. I'm hella nervous. No, you're nervous and nerdy. I know you, Riven. But I'm pretty sure y'all know what I mean. It's like, yeah, I meant nervous. Yeah. But, just, yeah, both is good. Both is good. But, that's what comes to my mind as an idea, essentially. to me would be fun is if like you even play through maybe as different characters, or you somehow had the option to play as different people. How you could, I'm not too sure. Like, I'm sure there in RPG Maker there's an option for making a way to go, oh, choose your character, and then you play through their story. I'm pretty sure there is a way, but I'm not too sure. I might have to look up tutorials, like, big time. Just, I know I'd have to. One thing I would definitely like to incorporate is, like, of course, symbolisms of stuff, because Telos and, Amma, like, because they're moths. They're moth-like beings, and moths are said to be, like, messengers from spirits, but also signs of bad luck. So, depending on the theme or thematics of a character, they probably would have certain traits, maybe. Like, say Flora was a character, she would have more likeliness to, like, say, find materials for, like, a health potion or something. Or find materials when wandering around in the world. And Poppy, I'd say she definitely would have a more energetic and oblivious sort of trait. To where, say, there's danger, but I wouldn't be surprised if it worked in a way that allowed you to escape from danger if you wanted to say, yeah, I kinda don't want to get in a sword fight with goblins right now. No. And if you have Poppy with you, it's like, or if you're playing as her, it's like, bye, Mr. Goblin, I'm late for, I guess, tea with somebody. Or she's late to go play in the flowers, knowing her. That's all she's late for. Just to go play. Just like, Dupless. Like, he's late for mischief, she's late for playing in the flowers. But it's still that fact. To me, it'd be a cool idea. But even then, I know I'd have to come up with a more solid story per se. I mean, it would be super neat. Just trying to think about it. It's, like, really fun, but at the same time, I don't know exactly what all it is because I don't have anything to, like, write it down. But either way. Oh yeah, one thing I've actually been thinking of is, like, if you had to, like, draw your character for, like, in a different, not style, but, like, as if they were from a different universe, but it's not, like, an outfit change or a backstory change, per se. And instead, it's, like, what they are kind of changes without really actually changing. Like, Talos and, Amma would be moth-like people, essentially. And Rune, I thought of her being something like a fairy. Because, like, she loves fairy tales, she loves fairies. You know, why wouldn't she be one? But, it does. Hi, Wonky Wonk. Like, we're just chilling and chatting over different things. Like, so far we've been, discussing ideas with, like, RPG Maker, essentially. Because I found it on Steam, since I have a Steam account now. Because I've been looking through it. There I go, fighting sleep again, gonna head off. Oh, honey. Glad I could stay for as long as I did. You're fine, Riven. Just, if you gotta go take a nap, take a nap. Or, man, I would say make a smoothie, but we don't have any more bananas. If only. But it's alright. But, it's just something I thought of was just, like, essentially it's mostly like a farming or sorting game. Like essentially maintaining a home, like cleaning your room or something, or tending to a farm, depending on, like, a character you play as. But as the story progresses, they end up having to actually, like, tackle other things. Like, essentially, oh, they once got in a fight with that person years ago and their relationship's not been great anymore. Try to be friends again. Try to somehow get past it. And it's, I think that I'd have to really make a bigger story behind it. But it's just still, like, a really neat concept to me. My brain just crawled over to the idea of, like, Thanksgiving's coming soon. I don't remember if I have to work Thanksgiving. But, I know my brother's gonna want to come over, and he's not only gonna want to see my computer, because I have not shown him a picture of my computer. But I know he's gonna be asking, yes, do I have games on it? But he'd also, I know he's also going to, I know he's also going to have that case in point of, just wondering what all art stuff I'm doing on it now. And if I tell him, oh, if I want it, I could make a whole game. And he would, I know he's gonna look at me like, well, are you? But I can tell you now, he wouldn't really get a gaming PC, because one, he did already buy a new computer. I think he said it was like a Pavilion, an HP Pavilion. But what to me he said was funny is like, oh, it advertised he could play like World of Tanks. But he said, I know I wouldn't be able to do it. And I said, why not? And he's like, it's World of Tanks. You really think that computer's gonna be able to do that? And I was like, oh, you're right. He used to play that game so much when I was in school. Like, yeah, gosh, yeah. World of Tanks, I have it on my Switch, but now that I have a computer, I found out it is on Steam. Completely free to play. And yeah, you can pay to win, but it's actually looked down upon with World of Tanks. It actually is heavily looked down upon. Because, oh, you got the newest, grandest tank on the market, eh? What'd you do? Swipe your credit card for that? Huh? It's more like smiled at to grind for. And it's actually not hard. You know, as long as you have some nice players with you. Because I've seen there are people who have actual nice they have nice sportsmanship. But he has warned me there are some very, very mean players on it, and I've seen it twice. And it was like the span of 2 years. I've played it on and off. But I mean, I'm okay at it, but I might be fair enough at a PC. I'm not sure. I think I was better with tank controls. I'm not quite sure yet. Either way, it's just cause he takes interest in like when I draw and everything. He's like, cause he wants to see, and I know if I mentioned, oh, I made a game, he'd be like, which game? Or what is it? I want to see. But then I'd have to look out, I'm like, yeah, but are you going to want to play it? Because there's seeing it and then there's playing it. But either way. Don't know why my right shoulder's been bothering me. I feel like it's popping a bit. I think I might have slept on it wrong. I'm not sure. Either way. Just, I know he's gonna want to come over and see my computer, but I realize also the biggest thing I have not told him about is that I have 2 screens. He thought I have only one. He's gonna be like, where'd you get that one from, huh? Let alone asking how much I paid for it. Did I ever tell you he's like a bit stingy? Because he is. He actually is. He's actually where I did get a few like habits from. But at the same time, it's like, it's that he's also like, I never want to be that way. Never. But either way, because it's just that simple fact. Still, just he only comes to visit like Thanksgiving, Christmas, so a lot of stuff tends to change without him knowing. And it's like, oh yeah, I have that now. I know he'd freak if I got a Switch 2. Of course, he already wasn't happy when he found out I bought this. Not gonna lie. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's like oh dear, yeah, he worries. He worries a lot. But then I look at him like, Quincy, brother, would I have done it if I couldn't? If it was that bad of an idea? Like, I've had some bad ideas when I was a kid. But it's like, I wouldn't have gotten it if it was that horrible of a choice. Because I got it, I'm able to draw better on it, especially because my Chromebook is 8 years old. I don't know when that thing's gonna want to give up. And I can do so much more on a PC. It is just like it's a lot, but it's a very happy investment. You know, I'm very happy with it. And of course, my mom always says, well, if you're happy, I'm like, you have no idea. But the only thing otherwise, in terms of it, I'm missing is a capture card, really. Because I don't have one. And I'm trying to get one. Because I'd love to stream, like, Princess Peach Showtime. And, like, they got me Link's Awakening for my birthday earlier this year. And along with Showtime, I'd love to play it. I really would. See. But it's still just that fact. Actually, I find out what's funny. Why is the capture card I'm looking at cheaper on Amazon than Walmart? I don't get it. Anyways. But one thing I will say, at least in terms of like creating stuff, I have been already thinking over with a starting soon screen and whatnot for when Art Fight comes back around. I know that's months away, that's forever away, but to me it's like time to work on it, more time to think it over and everything, because I really had a cute idea, and with Telos Rune in the background, it showed me, oh, I definitely could pull my idea off. I would just really have to like really have to think it over. Like really have to think, well, what exactly is it that I'm gonna exactly arrange it as? Yeah, why them? It's like, basically it's the fact of, because I made their animation in the background and I put it there, I was like, huh, I wonder, because I've seen people put GIFs on theirs, I'm like, but can I make a flippy book and put it on here? And then it confirmed to me, oh, yes, I could, because I use Sketchbook, and the PC version takes some getting used to. I'm already pretty good at it, but it's just not to the way I am on mobile, on my Chromebook. It just isn't. Of course, again, there's the 8-year difference in terms of how long I've been using it. I know eventually I'll get there. But what it is that, essentially, they would be part of it, but along with other OCs I have, with the art fight starting soon. And it would be like, it's just shifting through with them, kind of like a choose your fighter, because me and my brother used to play a lot of choose your fighter player versus player games, especially on the GameCube. He had a Naruto one, and it's funny, I think he had the second one. I don't think we were ever able to get the first one, but it's still that fact. And it's like scrolling through the character select, essentially. Like, you go through the character select, and you actually see their model next to the select. But they would have different outfits for since it's art fight, so they would have like alternate costumes essentially, and then there'd be something for the main screen and then the end screen, because I would really like to have it to where, oh, these are my characters with all different personalities and everything, but what team for art fight would they pick? Because I found out that was a very fun thing to think of, because I happened to look back at all the other ones, and I'm like, oh, this would be really cool to draw in certain cases of who would be on which team. Because there'd be so many times where it's like, oh, these characters would usually be on the same team, and then, no, they're not. Telos and Rune was especially fun to think of, like, whose team would they be on? Because I remember one of the team ideas that you were able to vote on last year, and to me it was so cool to think how divided those two could be. But since it's such a wholesome competition, it's just the most adorable fight between those two. But at the same time, it's just like, also the idea of just drawing them in different, like, attire. Like, there's some characters I've drawn in different outfits, there's some I have not. There is. And then there's those who have, then there's those who I have had, more practice with. Rune wears pretty much almost the same style of outfit, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, she wears different kinds of, like, the same kind of cutesy dresses. They're oftentimes a bit of an overall style. Like, they have the straps and everything. But they're usually pretty similar in style. Because she wears cutesy pastels, she may wear something muted. I think even the fanciest outfit I've drawn for her was actually pretty muted. Like, in color. She has a specific style, she sticks to it. Meanwhile, Telos goes from his normal outfit to just this band t-shirt with a hoodie tied around his waist. Yo, he has, like, black shorts that are, like, they're more like leggings. And, like, some kind of shoes. Either his normal shoes or different shoes. And he changes out his hat, too, for a hat for the same band. Oh, that would be actually a very fun thing to draw, actually. Because I've had some ideas for, like, some band ideas for the Mario universe, especially heavy metal bands. And it was just funny to picture just Telos, like, having the funniest taste of music, but then you get to see all these different bands he really likes. And his most favorite, which is the one he has the shirt and the hat from, they're called Red Caps, but they're really just a band full of toads with, like, the red spotted caps. That's all it is. But they're a really good band. But that's what they're called. Yeah. Then there was yeah, I guess you have the Red Caps. Then there was a band called Sugar Peas, and they're inspired by a metal band my brother really does like. And it's just a bunch of beanish who dress all cutesy and everything, but it's like this weird mix of cutesy pop with metal. And they're in the band that my brother listens to, because I listen to it from occasion, it's called baby metal, and it's called kawaii metal, or cute metal. And I was like, you know, I'd really like to see he listens to this, but I was like, how would it fit in the Mario world? And I realized, wait, the Beanish. They are known for being outlandish in certain ways, but in ways that just fit. That's just, it hits so good. And I was like, that would be it. Then there's the fact of, aside from metal, Telos does listen to, I guess some people would say it's, folk music, essentially. But, like, you'd swear it's either, OSTs from movies or fantasy games. Like, he would vibe to, like, music from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And then there's the fact of, like, and then he would just, like, have, like, songs like sea shanties, like Drunken Sailor, whenever he's, like, off doing something. He's tending to his moths, or he's tending to the plants he's growing for food, and he's just singing Randy Dandio. Yeah, those are quite the taste. I have a playlist for him on Spotify. It's so all over the place. Like, it's very funny how all over the place it is. And then I find some artists like Peyton Parrish, and then of course there's Jonathan Young, who do covers of famous songs, but as heavy metal, or just as rock covers. And they are so good. Peyton Parrish made the best cover of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And because it's, not only is it smooth, but it doesn't kind of have that kind of cringe kind of, oh, this song. Because I know that's everybody, you know, kind of like when that song comes on, depending on the moment. But I was like, no, I can actually see Rude and Telos slow dancing to this. It's very nice. And then, I absolutely loved this. I wouldn't stop listening to on my headphones when Art Fight was going on back in July. Was his cover of, Hi Ho from Snow White, which is the dwarves' working song. And they're talking about, like, digging up stones and everything, digging, like, them up by the score. And, because, like, especially with the thing of diamonds, rubies, sometimes more. And I was like, just crystals and fossils. This is a perfect song for it. Oh, the Hi Ho song, huh? Yes. Yes, that one. It just scratches my head in such a way that's, like, so great. I can't describe it. It's just so fun to listen to. I loved that song as a kid. I always thought it was cute, especially, the dwarves yodel song. To me, it was always so cute. Especially because of one lyric that's, like, just, it always, like, makes me smile when I hear it. It's like, it's literally when they say, hi ho, the tune is dumb. It's like, the words don't mean a thing. Isn't this a silly song for anyone to sing? The dwarves are my favorite characters in that movie. I really liked how they all were, especially different in terms of personality, and their names reflected that, but they all just, they were a big family. And I was like, this is amazing. Especially because it's like, they literally just, like, took Snow White in as their own, too. But it's just a fact of, like, there's a lot of really dope covers that Telos would have on his list. And it's like, because he is just a rock and metal fan. He is. But then he suddenly has that moment of, oh, now he's listening to, like, a Celtic harp and some, like, drums. One of the newest songs I've added was, Skull. And I think it was Miracle of Sound. Let me look and see. I say as I pull up Spotify to look. Yeah, there's his list. I have 229 songs on Telos' playlist. Good God. Yeah, Miracle of Sound, Skull. Their song Skull because I heard it and I was like, okay, this is really cool. And then it's all about fellowship, no matter what. Just come on in, get by the fire, be cozy. Let's just have fun together and everything. And then I'm like, oh, this is such a good song for him, because Telos, yeah, he's an introvert. He's a bit cold at first, but when you actually get past that barrier, you get to know him. That's exactly how he is. He is just super welcoming and very warm to people, to where essentially, like, because that's especially the case in Nutty's Star Warrior AU. He at first is cold, and then he starts to see the members of camp as his family, as, you know, a family he never had. And as a farmer, he of course grows, I jokingly call it moth food, because it's flowers, it's especially nectar-rich flowers. And then and then there's of course, you know, stuff that's host plants for the caterpillars he raises into moths. And a lot of the plants he has are actually also very edible to other people, if you're willing to try it. But he'll make things out of different, you know, plants. And when it comes to, like, plants, people are more like, oh yeah, those. Like, pumpkins, especially sugar pumpkins. Actually, no, he will only grow sugar pumpkins, I remember. He will only grow a sugar pumpkin. He doesn't grow normal gourds. But he'll grow those, he'll grow carrots, he will harvest wild crab apples. Because before learning how to plant plants, actually farm, as people would say, live up to being a farmer, he would, you know, only forage, but he would find quite the stuff foraging, he would. And then he would make it into stuff. He would in some ways or another make it into things. Like with the crab apples, he would turn it into jelly. And he would have some for himself and his moths, especially because, you know, there's not really many flowers that grow in winter, let alone ones that moths really like. But he would look at it and go, huh, I have a lot of extra stuff. We can't eat all of this over the course of autumn and winter. Like, there's still gonna be so much come spring. So what he does is he shares it with everybody else. Like, hey, do you want some apple butter? I just made, like, a lot of jars, and I have so much more left over. Do you want some? And he would share it with people who want some. He would especially, like, hand them out at the mess hall, because who doesn't like apple butter on some nice toast? I haven't met a person yet that hasn't. Just a nice type of, like, homemade jelly or fruit preserve. Oh, be gone, bot. Like, is there a way to ban a bot? Is there any way at all? But either way. Anyways, apple butter. Telos handing out apple butter and very tasty toast. Anyway. But yeah, he knows how to make simple bread and everything, but eventually he would learn how to cook proper stuff. Eventually. But that was also one thing that was funny to look up with him, because he mostly eats plants, and he's heavily what's known as a nectarivore. But because he's part moth, he actually can't eat certain foods. So imagine my disappointment when I realized, oh, the poor guy, he can't eat proper apple pie because moths don't like cinnamon. And I will say, because where moths don't like normal herbs and spices, the smell is too strong. And they don't like strong smells. And the way I figured out, like, oh, well, what will he be okay with eating? He'll at least be okay with. And it's that, essentially, if you ever look up what a pantry moth will get into, that's what he can eat. Because if a pantry moth will get into it, he'll be like, oh, I mean, I'll eat it. it's not bad. But one of the things is like they love to get into coffee. So he especially loves coffee. But Talos is a massive sugarholic because of it. He's a sugar fiend. And it's because he's a nectarivore, essentially. Then again, this is also the guy who will take, he loves gardenia flowers, because they smell very beautiful. And if you've been around one gardenia flower, you know they're really strong in smell. He loves them, and he won't just like go, oh, just put it into honey, put it on a salad, because he will do that, but his favorite way to eat them is just to shove the whole flower in his mouth and chew. All at once. That's what he likes to do. And it's really funny because Emma, despite being like, you know, in his subconscious, because they shift form, they call each other host mates, because they both essentially become two of the same spirit inhabiting the same doll body. And she's very aware of what he does. So when she's talking to other people, and they mention it, she's like, oh, yeah, I keep telling him not to do that. Because it might not end well one day. And it's just really funny to think about it. She's like, oh yeah, I know. We've talked about it. He doesn't listen. He's hard-headed. I might have to get Rin involved to get her to talk to him. Oh boy. That actually, you realize, would also be pretty fun to like at least write out. Like, take your OCs and what is a quirk of theirs? Other people just look at them and go, just, god damn it. They're back at it again. Manchester, I could say it's that he can't resist a macaroon. He loves macaroons, but he loves them even more if you can share. So, if he has macaroons, he not only will immediately go, oh, yes, of course, I want one. But he'll ask, oh, but do you also want one? Or if you have spares, or if he has spares, he will ask if you want one. Because Manchester's just a sweetie. He's just such a massive sweetheart. But I'm trying to also think in terms of other characters, like, oh yeah, Rose Stern. I know I haven't really shown much with Rose Stern yet, but with him, she likes him scrap for like hand. My words, they have escaped me. My half of her brain cell, it vanished. Rose Stern, he prefers food made from scratch. She prefers it no other way, but they just they're that picky. And when thinking over like their favorite meals, she's like one of the biggest things I especially looked over, it was like pasta, which is like one of the most ultimate of handmade foods when you think about it. Like everything, if you want the best, it's made all from scratch, everything. And she's like, she likes it's a type of tortellini with like cheese inside of it with spinach on top of it, along with like a marinara sauce. And then like a certain type of bread, a grape juice on the side, and like a side of fruit. I showed it to Riven and he was like, that child, that boy is picky. He's like, what are they thinking with a meal like that? I was like, favorite meal. Didn't have to say what it was exactly. Like, or like, are we talking dessert? Are we talking dinner? Are we talking about breakfast? Because Telos's favorite is beef stew with rice, because then it's like you mix it with the rice and it's like not only is it more filling, but it's like now it's a mode of transport for extra flavor, because you can just mix it all together and it gets covered with the stew juice and everything, and it's just, speaking from experience, it is fantastic. At least if you've made it right. Because I've made it to where it's like, it's really, really good, and then sometimes it's like, I might have not done something perfectly. But that's his favorite, aside from gardenia flowers. But Emma's is actually a cinnamon roll cake, but of course it's not made with cinnamon. It's actually made with allspice. Because I looked it up, moths actually do tolerate allspice. And allspice is known as, I don't know if anyone knew this, allspice is known as allspice because it tastes like all the spices you would use for autumn put together. So it tastes like, nutmeg, cinnamon, cumin. It tastes like all of it. And you can use this instead of cinnamon if you especially have an allergy, because Telos and Emma do have an allergy. Because they just can't eat it. It essentially doesn't sit well with them. But that's her favorite food with a lightly sweetened tea. That's her favorite. Hecate's hilarious because he's just he likes anything strawberry. He just loves strawberries. You could give him a pack of strawberries, he'll be happy. So it's strawberries themselves, strawberry cookies, strawberry cake, pudding. He just loves strawberries. Rillis is really fun because he likes French toast with honey and powdered sugar. And he likes a fruit on the side. But despite having golly, yeah. Yeah, essentially it's like that's Hecate, it doesn't matter. It's a strawberry. He would literally have his hand out are you gonna share? It's like, are you going to share, my friend? And then so Rillis has the French toast, a gentle powdered sugar, honey on it. But despite being affiliated with fire as of his main power type, he does not like spicy food. He cannot stand it. And one of the biggest things I've always pictured with Telos and Rillis fighting is keep pushing my buttons and I'm gonna replace the cinnamon on your French toast with cayenne powder, and I'll hide the milk. Because Telos is a Zatari. He's mean like that. Especially because he and Rillis butt heads quite a lot. They do. Rune's favorite is literally on the table I'm sitting at right now. It is literally tea and cookies. She just loves sugar cookies and tea. And of course I know some would say what about margarine? She will put margarine on a cookie or marmalade on a cookie and she will still dip it in her tea and just eat it. Sugar cookies are yummy. Sugar cookies to me are the best cookie because they're flexible. You can design them all kinds of ways. You can add cinnamon and suddenly it's a snickerdoodle. And even if you don't, it's a butter cookie and it still has a bit of sweetness to it. But they're a nice little sweet that you can mellow back with tea or hot cocoa or coffee. They're just so nice. But I will say from personal experience and taste, I cannot stand the cookies, the soft sugar cookies. They're called soft bake. I can't stand them. And I say that because I bite into one, I feel sick eating it. I bite into it, my teeth hurt from the sugar, I feel nauseous from it. And so I'm like, I don't like them, but I would buy them for somebody else if they wanted them. Say I was going to a party and they said, "Oh, can you bring some?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not touching them. you can have them all." Yeah, oh, that's a pity. It's just that's how my tastes have changed as I've gotten older. Trust me, when I was little, I loved those things. I really did. But then it's like my taste as I got older, it's essentially become blander. Because even Riven says, I'm actually rather simple. I'm actually rather bland. Because, and I know some people say, well, if you don't like much in terms of sweet, then why do you drink a lot of soda? It's because it's like Mountain Dew and some other sodas. They have a very set level kind of deal in sweet. And even then, if I want, I can water it down. I actually do that with the High C lemonade we have as a fountain drink at work, to where it's just lemon water, pink lemon water. But I like it. And it's more water than sugar, so I mean, it's kind of healthier by default, I guess. I guess it's kind of healthy. I mean, healthier than if it's just the straight lemonade. But I'm a sugar junkie, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of like caffeine, wanting caffeine. But it's still that regard. That's just how my tastes have changed. Like, I still don't like raw tomatoes. But I like stewed tomato juice drizzled a bit over like plain rice, because like it's like a nice sweetness to it. But I do not like just whole chunks of tomato. I just don't. But chili is where I somehow make an exception, I guess because it's usually chopped up so small to where it's not actually a chunk in my mouth. It's actually one with the beans and the meat. One thing that actually surprised my folks with a change in taste is essentially with bell peppers and onions. Because when I was younger, I did not like onions very much, and I especially didn't like bell peppers. You know, just I was like, no, I don't want it. And then I got older, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. Because we had, I think, Salisbury steak that night. And they were going to give me, my, Salisbury steak with no peppers. And I asked, oh, no, can I have some? And they said, don't you not like them? I was like, I want to try one. So I did. And to their surprise, I asked if I could have a few more. And they just looked at each other like, she okay? But I also really do like onions with some stuff. I don't like raw onions. Like, not in a hamburger. I like them, like, caramelized. And stuff like that. Like, especially for if it's going into a stew. Or, like, spaghetti sauce. Like, spaghetti sauce is... I just love it that way. Another one, I realize, is a literal hot take when it comes to food. And I've joked around like, wow, I realized this is a literal hot take. And he said, what do you mean? And I told him, I don't like cold cheese. Like I'll take it on a hamburger. I'll take it on spaghetti. I'm okay with lasagna. There's tacos. But I don't like string cheese. I don't like it cold. You know, stuff like that. And he's like, that is indeed a literal hot take. Which, like, he finds that interesting, kind of deal, like, to hear how different people's tastes are, because he loves to cook. I work in a cafe, and he wishes he could work in a place like a cafe, but his back won't let him, essentially, the pain and everything. So, I let him do all the cooking at home, because I don't want to take that passion away from him. And he just has so much fun, not only messing with the concepts of what we eat, per se, but at the same time, it's like, oh, green beans. I like them canned, but he doesn't. He likes them frozen. I certainly do not. But then there's that middle ground of frying them in a pan. And he likes experimenting with what we both like with that. And to me, it's just fun to see him have fun. Because otherwise, he couldn't really do it before. And I know it's like oddly deep for green beans, but it really is a case of green beans are that funky little vegetable that their taste can be affected very easy. Some people don't realize it, but they do. It just frozen green beans just taste so gross. I'm just gonna put it out there. They taste so gross. They just do. But, Riven doesn't like canned green beans because they're too salty. And I give him that. They have quite a bit of salt content That's why I don't salt them when I cook them. I just add pepper and a little butter. But when you fry the green beans, like fresh green beans, a world of possibilities open up. Very delicious possibilities. But one thing I will say, especially in terms of like food hot takes, is also the fact of I like hot cheese, but I don't like casseroles very much. Like, I haven't found one I really like yet. I realized I didn't close my curtain all the way. Either way, case in point still stands. Oh yeah. I remember with, I remember with Helix, in terms of favorite foods. Now, normally he will literally just say whatever, you know, is made, he likes. But I know some people say he's bound to have a food he doesn't like. Cause I do headcanon, Yari's okay at cooking. He's okay. But it's the reason why it's like, Mom, please don't touch the stove. Please don't. Sarissa, big sister Sarissa, she's learning. She's definitely better than their mother. Definitely. But, but mostly, it's food he gets from Nana Javeline. That's an OC I haven't shown yet. But she's this elderly spear who, of course, is a javelin. But she's extremely old. Like, nobody really knows how old she is. But even Smithy, if it tells you how old she is to some degree, even she is called Grandma by him. Even he calls her Grandma. So she's just called Grandma by everybody. Because she's just that old. No one knows who made her anymore. Because that's old information that nobody cared to remember. Older than Smithy, eh? Yeah, she is old. But still goes very strong. And she makes cookies for everyone. Just everyone. If you want to talk about a character everyone does love, in at least my ideology of Weapon World, is Javeline. But that's because she's this old grandma that treats everybody like they are her own grandchild. So like if you do something wrong, she'll scold you. If you had a rough day, she'll comfort you. She'll make you cookies. If you're down on your luck for a little bit, she'll make you stew, she'll take you in. She's just there for everyone. And it doesn't matter who. It could be a royal, it could be a little like drill bit or a mad mallet, it doesn't matter. She will take you in, she will treat you like her own family. That's Javeline. And she takes care of Helix when Yuridovich is busy, because Sarissa, she's old enough to work on her own as well. So when his family's off working, Javeline babysits him. She takes care of him. And she will oftentimes make stew. And he loves her stew. Halbert's a baby. But he can eat mushy food. So it's definitely applesauce, I would say, for him, because he has a very shallow palate. But he does not like bananas. Halbert does not like bananas at all. And he doesn't like grass. Like, he doesn't like touching grass. Of course, you know, not much grass grows in Weapon World, but baby doesn't like grass. Sarissa, she's, being the young adult she is, she has a rebellious form of a favorite food, which is grape soda and, you know, and like some kind of dessert. But she, for the most part, says, oh, grape soda and just whatever fancies, you know, my mind at the time. And essentially her dietary habits are not the best, but she's young, she's not afraid to do it. So, no matter how much Yuridovich gets onto her, it's like, eat something better for your lunch break. Don't just have soda and chips. Like, at least have a sandwich with it. She's like, no. Mom, I'm fine. Yeah, she says till she gets home. And she's absolutely hungry. But it's pictures. It's funny the pictures just Sarissa that lean back of just I know, mom, because she's usually not the rebellious teenager type, but we all had those moments of like I know. It's just another fun fact though. Was like with them like having the different foods. Thinking about it with Casper, I can actually say he does like peanut butter and jelly. He really does like peanut butter and jelly as his favorite. Because it's not that he's just a simpleton, but it's the fact of just, it's a timeless classic that never gets old. And just, he loves it. Annie's funny because like she like kind of hints at what her favorite food is, but she doesn't really say. But but deep down she actually, because she's not quite the princess she should be, you know, prim and proper. She's definitely a tomboy. That's part of why the joke is she's Smithy but a girl. And she really likes pizza a lot because it's something she can just grab with her hand. It doesn't matter how like messy it is, like from the cheese pull, any toppings falling off. You can just pick it up and toss it in your mouth. No one judges. I guess when it comes to food, regarding my characters, Jimmy, my Womp character, likes anyone that's willing to make meals or desserts. He isn't too picky as far as I'm aware. Being a foodie, I think, is just a fantastic thing because you're not only willing to try so much, like so many types of foods, but boy, will you also find out what you like, and oftentimes you actually do like quite a lot. And I say that because my grandpa was a foodie, and boy, would he tell you if he didn't like something. I think my mom's told a funny story that once that he tried like squid, he tried calamari, and he ate a piece, swallowed it and all, and just they saw his face and they're like, well, Daddy, do you like it? And he goes, and I kid you not, this is how he used to talk. He goes, well, I don't like that too much. But I have a lot of funny stories with my grandpa, but like again, he wasn't afraid to tell you. Yeah. He wasn't afraid to tell you if he liked it or not. He wasn't afraid to. And he was the master at breakfast. Like, cause he used to serve in the National Guard, and my mom said he's good at all that stuff in the Army, sure. But his secret weapon is a cast iron skillet. Because he would make, you know, basic home breakfast, you know, eggs, bacon. We have grits a lot in terms of breakfast, where I live. And of course he'd always have like lemonade or tea and coffee. Yeah, wowzers, yeah. And like it would just be the most delicious thing ever. Like, forget going to Huddle House or anywhere else. It's like the magic was at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Oh, speaking of eating out at diners, like funny stuff with work. I know some people would say talking about work ain't fun. For me, it is fun in this regard. When it came to the past few weekends ago, we're trying to actually install a very special system, but there's difficulties getting it to work. But we usually do serve on Sunday, but we were closed that day because, you know, we were trying to install the thing, and we couldn't have a bunch of people going in and out at the time. So it was essentially open to employees only. And essentially, just like here's a point of like, we're like, wow, the crowd that would usually come today isn't going to be too happy. Because we do, despite being the kind of cafe we are, we do get a lot of business on Sunday. Like, a lot of business. But it's just, what was so funny is just the fact of, it's just like, because usually we just like, you have to put up with rude customers and everything, and we're all looking at each other like, well, guess who's gonna have to go and eat at home now. Because I looked at my coworkers and says, like, you know, I think a home-cooked ham would do them wonders. And they looked at me like, no, they're not gonna do that. And to us it's funny because the crowd we tended to deal with, they're mean. They're just jerks. But you do have your gems. But there's just quite a few people in the crowd where it's like, we wish you just made a ham at home. Because that was what my grandparents insisted on. We didn't go eat anywhere afterwards. We would just go home and have, like, spaghetti. Sometimes we would have spaghetti, sometimes we'd have burgers. At least that was back when, a certain type of burger, it was, like, frozen. And you could make it on a grill. That was before those were actually very bad for you. I say actually before because people found out, oh, that's actually not good to eat. But it's still that fact alone. It was fun to look back at those days and like, wow, the difference. But it's still the fact of I do hope we are able to install that little system soon. It's so neat. Especially because we'd be able to open up a lot more to the night shift. Because, like, I work at a cafe that's part of a hospital. And, of course, we close for the night. We're not there 24/7. I know some hospitals do have kitchen staff that stay overnight. We don't. We're a smaller town. So, we just don't have that. But to us, it's like, it sucks because, well, now people for night shift, they have to make their own food at home or go somewhere to get food from. Thankfully, Wawa's, which is a very close place nearby, they're open 24/7. It's just that their curbside pickup isn't. But you can go in the store and get whatever you want, and they do have really good food. It's just we still feel bad because, well, that means now you're going to have to order delivery and, you know, that can be expensive. Or you're going to have to temporarily clock out and go get it and then come back. And we feel bad. So it's one of the things we hope for, that we're able to get it installed, because then they can just come get something and, you know, have a meal like sandwiches and chips. Even if it's just a sandwich and chips. You can at least get that, and you don't really have to go anywhere but downstairs. But like I said, they're having trouble with it, so I don't know how soon that'll be. But I would hope that they would get it sorted out soon, because to me it would just be nice to see them actually being able to come and get things and just go take their break in the lounge, and they don't have to go anywhere. It's like, working with food, it can be rough, but if there's one thing I know for a fact is that you want people to have a nice meal because it makes them happy. It's like food is connected to your mood more than you think. Yeah, I just got done eating dinner. Speaking of food, I haven't even decided what I want to have for dinner just yet. I have a Tostino's pizza in there. I do have that. I actually ate a Blizzard I had in the freezer before our stream. I just had it in a bowl, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna finish this. Cause, like, I stopped eating it yesterday. Because I was like, you know, I gotta go do a thing. So I put it in the freezer, and then I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish this. Like, speaking of, like, with Blizzards, one thing I found out was, I do like having extra M&Ms in mine. Like, it evens out the soft serve to candy ratio. I don't know why, but I really like it. Like, and I haven't tried any other Blizzard flavor, but I've just always stuck to M&M. Riven, he not long ago tried an Oreo one, and he likes it. It's just not as great as Eminem, because he did try a bite of mine, and he was like, "Oh, that's good." I was like, "Yeah, because it's M&M's." um, I will say I have been tempted to try one of their dipped cones, but every time it's like I'm more in a Blizzard mood. But one thing I will say is interesting because they have that Misty Slush where they have the soft serve in the slushy. I've actually tasted it, and I got the blue raspberry flavor. I know it's blue raspberry. I know it's actually bitter. It's actually sour, but sweet. I almost swore it was a bit of salt in it. Because it was just that nice sweetness, and then there was, of course, its color. And I looked at it, I'm like, this is making me have vibes of sea salt ice cream from Kingdom Hearts. It's just the color and everything. Like, the flavor. I've heard they actually do have a flavor extract for it. But I was like, this is great. Especially because I was, like, big on Kingdom Hearts at that time. Really big. Oh, that also reminds me, speaking of Kingdom Hearts. I will say in terms of streaming Xbox games, because I was talking about streaming things on Steam. Yeah, Riven found something out for me that I was like, oh, okay. Good thing I went and bought Sims 4 Get to Work. Good thing I went and actually bought it. and I don't have to worry about, just using it to have it for free, as nice as it was. Yeah, Game Pass, they upped the price. And normally I would just get the gift cards that are like almost $20, and I found out a reoccurring subscription normally was just like, I guess rounded up 22. Trying to remember. I always round things up by $1. But I was like, I mean, it's Game Pass. I use it often. And then, of course, work picked up very bad in terms of, like, positions, because we've hired maybe 5 people after being short for 7 positions. And I was like, holy crap. Oh, my mom is calling. Hang on. I am back. I am back. I have returned. Oh boy. Try to catch up on chat. That was my mom, and it was important news because she always keeps me in the loop of when my folks have to go to the doctor because my stepdad has specific issues. Let me catch up on chat really quick, and I'll go there. Speaking of Steam, do you want to exchange accounts? I don't mind. That was quite the ringtone. Yeah, it's Smithy's theme. Just had chicken strips, tasty, and yeah, that, like I said, that was a phone call from my mom. So they went to the eye doctor today because he's having issues with his eye caused by his medicine, and he has a dislodged retina in his right eye, which is the one causing the problems. So, yeah. She was calling me to ask, hey, do you want to hold, like, when do you want to come look after Luna, essentially? Because she knew, I have work tomorrow, but she didn't want to, like, just nudge it in when it was very inconvenient. And I told her, like, oh, I can come get her stuff after work tomorrow. I don't mind at all. Because she's my first sister. I really don't mind having her over, because, again, I have no pets to worry about. And she's amazing company. She's just a love bug. And it's just more than a half. She's just an absolute sweetheart. So, I need to try getting a good picture, because every other picture I have of her, she moves. She's moved, and like it's like blurry. Like, Loda, I want an adorable picture. But they're gonna go tomorrow to get his eye operated on. And I've never had eye surgery before. I've had my eyes examined. I have astigmatism. I needed to get glasses. And here I am sitting in the dark with just my monitors. And I have astigmatism. Fantastic. Genius. Yeah. Oh my, indeed. Yeah, I'm here being a little idiot, but I never knew. If he had to have eye surgery, I understand the laying down part, but he has to lay on his on his left side for like a week. As much as possible. And I was like, I know his right eye's gonna get operated on, but sheesh, Louise. But, Mom, because it's Mom, it's my mom, it's how she is, she asked, hey, is there anything you maybe want from the Sam's Club that's like quite a few, I think it's like 2 counties away? No, I think it's more than that. Either long ways away, Sam's Club. And she asked, do you and Riven maybe want something from it? Because she tries to pay us back for watching Luna. I'm like, Mom, it's first sister. Like, you don't have to do that. But she insists on it. And I told her, I don't know what we would want. Like, I'd have to talk with Riven. But, because, like, she always likes making sure me and my brother, we have, like, paper towels and everything, because it's one of those things where it's like you don't think about till you looking to get a new roll and you're like, oh, I only have one left. I mean, at least if you're us, we keep ours like in a back bedroom on the other side of my house because I just don't have the storage otherwise. I wish I did. I need to get a shelf. That's what I need to do. I need to get like a shelf and just put it somewhere in my kitchen to where it's like I need something to wipe up a macaroni and just grab your hands. But yeah, that's what she was calling about, essentially, because she keeps me in the loop on it. Because, I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you? But it's the fact of, he's been going through this sort of thing since 2017, and I know he's not only very much tired of it, but it's like, the last thing we expected was to suddenly have issues with his eye. Because, and then there's just the fact of the people he goes to, because because of his transplant stuff, they took over his eye care because his other eye doctor was just like, oh, let's put the stuff in this eye to prevent you from going blind in it and not worry about the one you're already going blind in. And I was like, that makes only so much sense. Preventative measures, yes. Not trying to help the one who's actually going blind in, though. Like, you should do something. Yeah. Oh dear. Mom's been feeling that for a long time. But it's, as she would say, samadana, which is her way of saying calm down. She would just, have the whole, peace, zen hand gestures, just wave them to the side slowly, like, samadana, usa, just everything will be fine. And it's kind of like a thing like, if you don't do that, it will not be fine. And I found out if you don't worry about it, at least if I don't worry about it, it doesn't end up being fine. So, I know I sound peppy, but I worry for him. I worry for them deeply. I really do. Because, yeah, it's this kind of thing has just, things like that have been going on ever since that year, but it's just that fact of, like, just, it's not fun. Especially because it's like, it's your eye. You need those. You really need those. You can live with one, but it's not like a cataract that can just be removed. He's literally having to get a retina put back. But it's still at least that case in point of, like, I know things will be fine, but I worry. But regardless, in terms of Steam accounts, we can. I've never done it before. And I don't have any games yet. Not yet. But I know eventually that will change. I don't know if I can share exactly, but I literally am following a pattern of, like, instead of just, like, roll for dexterity in some cases, I go for, let's roll for a different ability score. So on Steam, I'm roll for wisdom. Like, if you can find it, like, it shouldn't be hard. But, I know it's a pretty unique name, but I don't know, like, much in terms of gaming, username stuff. But either way, it's still that case in point fact. It's trying to at least get a grasp on it, because I know if I can't get a capture card yet, if I can at least start streaming some games that would be not only funner on PC than they would be on Xbox. Because I've played Slime Rancher, and I have Slime Rancher 1 on my thing. Oh, hi! Hello! I just like, this is like telling us like, hello! Oh boy. Yeah, ta-da! I just look up like, oh. But, like I said, it's like, I have Slime Rancher on Xbox. I do have it. It's just, I feel like it probably would be a bit more fun, maybe, on PC, because it has better capacity power and everything. Plus, Slime Rancher is just such a cute and chill game. It is. I love to try Slime Rancher 2. It says there is a demo, I think. No, I don't think there is a demo anymore. I think there's just one for Slime Rancher and not Slime Rancher 2. I think no, I think the demo was only for Xbox. I think that's what it was. Or at least it had a demo till it fully launched. But I would love to play Slime Rancher 2, especially. Is there a demo for Slime Rancher? There is. There is a demo. I might stream that. The Slime Rancher demo. Because I don't think I'd no, I would need Game Pass for streaming on PC from my Xbox. I would need it. But that's $30. $30 I could spend on a game. So, as nice as it would be, I'd rather use it to buy Slime Rancher or something. I really would. So, there is that. Oh yeah, the little secret style pack is adorable. Oh, I think that came with Xbox, or I could be wrong. Yeah, the VR playground. But either way. So that would definitely be something to consider playing on stream. Is the little demo. Because to me it would just be fun. Cause just all the little slimes. I love the little slimies. They're just so cute. Blacksmith Master, it says it's in early access, but I would like to play it on stream. Hunting Grounds, as much as I do really want to get it, I just don't think it would really be a good cup of tea stream-wise. Not that there aren't people who like it, it's just a fact of... I just don't think it'd be a very good game to stream. Potion Craft, though, I think would be very cute, very fun. Another Crusade, I want to play. Like, I really do want that one. But I don't know if I would genuinely... Oh, it has a demo too. I gotta look for that. I gotta look into that. Cause yeah, it would definitely let me see if I could just play with my keyboard. Though I think I might want to get a controller. Because if I get a controller though, I know I'm gonna want to get one just for my PC and nothing else. Because I could just slide it here somewhere on my desk. I actually have a little side table right over here. I could easily store it in there because I store my spare headphones in there. Jackbox, I might get at some point. I'm not quite sure, but I'd love to play Jackbox. Just, Riven's not the biggest fan of Jackbox, but I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, because it's like... Oh, autumn sale. So that was yesterday. But yeah, it's like all the different, Jackboxes, because, I have 7 on my Switch, but I think I have 4 on my Xbox. But I would prefer to have them on PC because it's like I think I can control it more on PC. World of Final Fantasy is a game that I know I'm gonna want to play because it's like a longer RPG, but it's so cute. Yeah, and you can have other folks play. Yeah, because to me that would be what's so fun about Jackbox. Because it's not just one person, it's other people. And it's more fun with other people. As I told Riven, yeah, we can make all kinds of jokes and everything with, like, our own characters. But in terms of things like, you know, Quiplash or, Fibbage, when making questions and everything... Or, yeah, Survive the Internet. That one's my favorite. Yeah, I played with Miss D and some others on a stream. I saw the notification for that, but because of work, I couldn't join. And I was so upset, man. I was like, I could be playing Jackbox with Miss D in them right now, but no. I didn't get lucky and have that day off. But I know one day that luck will probably change. I was like, oh man, I know that feeling. So yeah, because again, like, we're still short-staffed. We still have some people in training too, and it's just, yeah, I missed many streams because of work myself. Yeah, and another coworker, she's about to be out because she's having a baby. We already had a coworker out because she was having a baby, but now she's back part-time. Her baby's still very, very little, so she only works 2 days every week, which is Fridays and Saturdays. But I don't blame her, because they are itty-bitty. They are very little. And, like, her man works, but it's like, it's a new baby. It's rough. There were some of Nutty streams I wanted to see, but because of my schedule, I couldn't see those live. Yeah, it's just like, I think another part of it's just work also kind of sapped some of my motivation with some stuff. Like I have a thing over here, like sitting over here, like my aunt, she gave me, because I was supposed to put it together for Christmas. Clearly there's still a while till Christmas. But she wants to make custom stockings for my little cousins. Because they're still very young. And of course, they're very young. It's Christmas. You spoil them. That's just how life works. They're very sweet. They're very, very sweet. So, but it's like, in my family, that was always something like everybody had, not a generic stocking we bought at Walmart or something. No, we had a felted, one-of-a-kind stocking. Me and my brother still have ours from when we were very little that my aunt made us. And it has our names on it and everything. And I just have not had the motivation to get around to it. I think this weekend I'm gonna try to push myself to get it done, because it's October. The closest holiday is Halloween, and I don't want to try to hand it off to her at Thanksgiving, because my little cousins will be there. They'll see it. It's a surprise. But it's still that simple fact of it saps my motivation and everything. And yeah, the distraction. Yeah, or just to sap my motivation, I tendency to get distracted too. Yeah. And there's just moments where, like, I'm sitting in my chair, my recliner, watching stuff. Same. Yeah. And I'm just watching something and I'm like, man, I want to draw, but I don't want to get up. What do I do? And then I end up just getting my Chromebook and drawing. But like my art fight thing, I wanted to do the art fight entry. I know what I want to do. I want to do a prompt and a palette, because I really want to challenge myself. But I just have not had the motivation to get it done. And I'm sad about it, because it's a really cool idea. Because it also made me think, every year, maybe, for different prompts, like, it's like a giant fight between art and gaming for me. For me, it's just, yeah, my brain is like, draw, but then my body's like, no. Because that's pretty much it. But then I have a third option of just lay down, eat, watch things. I was like, no, I want to do a thing. And it's like, nah, we're gonna sit and we're gonna watch stuff. It's like, fine, we'll watch chocolatiering. That's just the case in point, and I wish it wasn't that way, but unfortunately it is. Like, I know this weekend I can push myself to get cracking on that project, but it's just a simple fact of, like, I'm just hoping I'm able to actually boot myself into doing it. Maybe, since I have an art stream Saturday, maybe I can try doing my art fight thing there. Maybe. Because I would really like to give it a shot and just try to see what I can pull off. Because having a limited palette and testing something like that out, I've never done it before. And at work, I had a funny idea for an art challenge. As funny as it may sound. It's like, take food, like, freshly cooked, and take a picture of it. Like, when it's brightly colored, pristine. And then use it as a source for a color palette. Because, from there, it's like, you can only use whatever colors you find in the picture, or with the food. And just draw from there. Because I'd love to try doing that. Like, different foods and everything. Because to me, it would just be so cool to try that. Like, because you don't know what colors you might get. And it's like, oh, I literally got this from a cake picture. A picture of a cake that I had. And look what I've made. Because I have a picture of, cheesecake on my phone that I made at work. And I was like, this would be amazing for a color palette challenge. Because you could just get a gradient of colors of all kinds. But also at the same time, it's a nice challenge. Plus, you could look at food. Very tasty looking food. I know I snuck one somewhere. But, another good place to look for, color palettes is there's a Tumblr I do follow and I get notifications for them. And they do nothing but color palettes. And they're free to use. So, those would be very cool to try using as well. But, like, I'd have to find a nice time to really, like, put it aside and, like, think of, like, drawings for, oh, if I want to do an art challenge, draw this. Or, here's a drawing. Now put it together. Because this song, I've heard it too many times. Yeah. I've never even played Animal Crossing City Folk, but I've heard this song so many times. And I'm like, it's so bubbly, and it's so relaxed. It's so cute. Animal Crossing is just adorable. But, essentially, just, I want to, but then my body's like, but do you really? I'm like, yes I do. It's like, well, we're gonna do this instead. It's like, fine. Okay, I guess we'll do that. But I think I'm slowly getting out of the rut because I've begun to try picking up writing again because I do write stuff with my OCs in my spare time. Or at least I used to do it a lot. But I think I'm starting to pick it back up, you know, a bit better. So that's at least a good thing. So hopefully I might be able to, if anything, a nice idea would be maybe to try doing the prompt drawings after all, because I know I said, like, I wouldn't be able to do all 200, but picking some, it would actually be pretty good to try to get the brain thinking and actually try to put something together. It really would. Because some of them are really cool sounding prompts. Like, I had an idea, because originally I was writing these prompts out, like, what came to mind as a story. One is called Tiki Mask as a prompt. And the idea with that I had was with Rose Stern and getting into things that they shouldn't. And what does he find? The mask that once belonged to Madame Grape. Because it doesn't really say if Madame Grape's gone for good. She might still be around because you just see her mask floating at the end credits of Princess Peach Showtime. But Rose Stern, she's a Darkle based doll, and Madame Grape wielded Darkle. Who's to say that coming into contact with the mask wouldn't have any drawbacks? And then my brain had the thought of, oh, but Drama, you know, is afraid of what might happen if Rose Stern ever came into contact with anything involving or found out about Madame Grape. So it ends up being a nightmare that Rose Stern, is comforting Drama from, but Drama just, you know, doesn't tell him anything about, you know, refuses to tell him anything about, you know, Madame Grape, So it's hard for them to explain, for Drama to explain what gave them a nightmare, what made them so upset. So Rose, she's scratching her head, and they're like, well, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, I understand, but Mom, I worry about you a lot. So it kind of drives Rostern's curiosity even farther to where, yeah, he might find something that he shouldn't know about. Or she sees why Drama, their father, kept this secret from Rostern. And those who know about Madame Grape are kind of like, yeah, understandable. They don't want to teach them about that. But at the same time, some would say, well, Rostern's got to know eventually. But that's essentially the whole case in point idea with just the prompt of the Tiki Mask. So there is that. But there were others, like there was one like with blueprints, the prompt blueprints. And that's where I really had a good idea with Rune. But I do wanna ask Kirby if it fits as for her character in the AU, because it kind of fills in a blank for me, at least. Why Rune is the way she is. Why is she emotionless? And it's because Smithy did something to protect her, per se. Because he felt her emotions would be a sign of weakness. When clearly not. But that's how he saw it, and this is what ended up happening. So now she's trying to figure out how to get her emotions back, essentially. And Telos ended up being, part of the kick into looking for a way. Because otherwise she was just existing. She was just doing whatever she wanted and everything. The one story I have completed is Wishing Well, and it does involve Rune and Telos, and it's just so cute. Because, I read back through it, and I was like, oh my goodness, these two. Telos is a goober, he is a nutcase, but he loves her so much, and Rune and Telos, this happens before they start going out, but she essentially doesn't know what it means to make a wish, especially through a wishing well. And so she asks him, hey, what is that? And he explains what a wishing well is, and she understands the concept of making a wish. That's not through a well. And she's like, but can't people just make a wish and you hear it? Because, yeah, Telos is a Zatar, but she understands. Make a wish, we might hear it kind of deal. And he says, maybe it's a special method of hearing it. Or it makes sure it absolutely does get heard, like ringing a doorbell. He doesn't know, but he's like, mortals, they'll make up anything. They'll make up anything. Especially if it's supposed to be a moral lesson kind of deal. But then he immediately goes, but do you want to try? Him trying to be, not just sweet, but she's unfamiliar with these sorts of things. So he's like, but do you want to maybe try it? See what it's like, experience what these mortals have come up with. And she says, sure. And of course they make two different wishes. She wishes to find what she's looking for, which is her emotions again. And Telos essentially wishes, when he asks, she will say yes. When he asks her out, she'll say yes. She'll give him a chance. And after making the wish, it's so cute that she's like, so what did you wish for? And he's like, it's actually supposed to be a secret. I can't tell you. Sorry. Because he's awkward. He's a goober because, this is the girl he loves so much, but he's like, can't tell you that. I cannot tell you that. Sorry. Because mortals think if you tell, it won't come true. But he does tell her, hey, it might come true. Don't worry about it. If it does, I'll find out. I'll know. So that she at least is happy to hear that, it might come true, and he'll know when it does. He's, Because she can't feel emotions, but she can express how she wants to feel, at least. So there is at least that. But otherwise, Rune she just can't really feel an emotion. But it's 3 hours. Playlist almost over. But yeah, that's one way of expressing, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's one way of expressing it, but you know, it's something. But 3 hours in, it's time for din-dins. At least it'll soon be time for dinner for me. Let's find somebody to raid. Let's see, who else is just chatting? Like, let's see with Nallybot. Let's move this. Let's go raid Nallybot. Right, so I'll see y'all later. It's like y'all have a good night and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you all Saturday.